during the fast, I think you probably noticed as well, we felt you get colder. It is consistently quite cool. It always had, I mean, especially now with COVID, you go and, you know, measure yourself and I'm like 35.2.
You're cool, my friend.
Yeah, that too, but thank you.
What's up, guys? So this is the follow-up fasting video. Better late than never are some of the messages we've been receiving. So I just want to give a little apology about this first of all. Justin is a professor. He's had to get out papers which have been published, which is a heap of work. I'm lucky enough to read them. He's busy with English courses, YouTube, and just doing life. So finally we can do this.
Yeah, we can.
We can.
Yeah.
Nice
for the third time.
Yeah, don't rub it in. Fucking rub, hey?
No, there's no rubbing.
So I'm going to pop a few questions your way.
For sure.
And we just, you know, let's chat about them. So let's just give everybody an idea of what we did. You called me one day, you said, Dwayne, I want to fast. And I said, what do you have in mind?
My idea was 7 days. And you, like a maniac, said yes to 7 days, which is bizarre because you haven't fasted that much before.
And you, like a maniac, said if we do 7 days, we should do 10.
Did it happen?
So I finished just short of 8 days and Justin went through to
9.5.
Almost your 10-day fast. The plan was to drink only water for 7 days. We ended up having a lemon salt water drink in the mornings. And on the 7th day, we
had some broth.
Yeah.
But that broth was probably like 10 calories. It didn't break the fast. The lemon water definitely didn't break the fast.
No ways, yeah.
No.
Okay, so the first question I have for you, was it easy?
No, it sucked. The reality is that after 27 years of fasting, the longest I've ever done is 4.5 days on water. And everybody says, oh, you'll feel better by the 4th or the 5th day. I didn't feel better. Did you?
It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life. The ghrelin rhythms, like your eating circadian rhythms, didn't change. I was hungry for 7 days.
No, but hang on. You weren't hungry. I was never hungry for breakfast because I just don't eat breakfast. I would get hungry at night. In the morning, how did you feel when you woke up?
I only eat at about 12ish every day anyway. So when we woke up, it was fine. But when that lunch came around and that dinner came around, yeah, it was difficult. We woke up feeling fantastic.
Actually amazing.
Better than we do when we weren't fasting. Yeah.
Correct. And also, did you notice that you felt like you didn't need as much sleep?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
We felt incredible mental clarity. We had more time on our hands, not bloated, efficient. But that's for the first 3/4 of the day. In the evening, sitting at home on my couch, I couldn't work. I had to just sit there and just stop myself from eating. And I'm going to be honest with you. I sat there watching street food shit.
Yeah, but that's torture. You're torturing yourself.
No, I had to see food. I became obsessed.
I don't know how you could do that to yourself.
Yeah,
I don't look at it. I refuse to look at food.
All right, so how much weight did you lose?
Yeah, so I started out, I think I was 79.3. And at the end of the 9 days, I was 63.9. Bear in mind, a lot of that's water weight. Technically, I'm going to say I lost about 1.8 kilograms of fat. That's what I'm going to say at my age. And I think, what was your situation?
Myself and Justin went to the south of Taiwan for Chinese New Year, and we ate like pigs.
We got pretty hefty.
I was a little chubber at 107 kilograms. To prepare for the fast, I did 2 weeks of OMAD, which is the 1 meal a day. Not very strict, most of the week, and I cut from 107 to 95. So I cut down 12 kilograms in 3 weeks, and then went back up to 97 when I refed.
And in my case, I don't know about you, but this is about 6 weeks in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
So I've continued fasting every Monday and Thursday, basically for 36 to 40 hours each time. So it's like 80 hours a week, which is almost 3 days. So my weight has continued to go down. I'm now, today I weighed myself, I was 93.3. So since the fast has ended, I've continued to lose calories. So I've continued to lose fat, and my goal is to try and get back down to 69 kilos.
69, the magic number.
So that would put me sort of similar to where I was when I was 18 or 19, actually a little bit heavier.
Have you experienced a permanent change in your body since the fast ended?
So that's the magic thing. The question you started asking me was, how was it? I said it sucked. Except what I discovered on day 7, on the day we could technically break the fast, I suddenly felt like magic. Remember day 6 we were in mountain biking, I was almost dead?
Yeah.
But day 7, I think I finally switched over to that state that they talk about where I stopped feeling hungry. It just disappeared, and that's why I could carry on.
Wow.
In fact, the only reason I broke the fast is out of boredom.
Yeah.
From day 7 onwards, I felt like I could have fasted another 30 days.
We as people are carb dependent. Our body burns carbs as food, and the burning cycle for a meal that provides carbs to the body is about 4 hours. And so if you eat breakfast, lunch is timed around 4 hours away, and dinner is timed around 4 hours after that. And the reason for that cycle existing is because carbs take around 4 hours to burn. And so that's why people get hungry after 4 hours, because of that duration. Since we fasted and our body became, what is the word?
We're basically fat adapted. So we're burning fat now almost immediately when the body feels like, oh, it doesn't have any more calories. It's going to immediately switch over. So you don't have that phase of feeling like, oh, the body's saying, how now I've got to wait for the next batch of carbs to come in. It's simply saying, go burn fat.
Right. So when you fast, your body builds the infrastructure to go from burning carbs to fat almost instantly. And so now if I miss a meal, I actually don't get hungry.
Right.
So I have experienced a very real and very permanent change since the fast ended. It's 7 days that led to a life-changing thing. Right, next question. What have you learned about food, and how has it affected your relationship with food?
Well, I'm probably the worst person to ask about this because, I've always fasted. I fasted for 27 years and I've got such a strict diet as a vegan.
Yeah.
And along with my food intolerances, which sucks. I'd love to have dairy. So I'm not one of those people who have ever been addicted to food. So perhaps I'm the wrong person to ask. Let me throw that back at you. What have you learned?
There's something called the Paleolithic fallacy, and what that is that you think you need food, but only since the agricultural revolution has there been a constant supply of food. And so since that sort of revolution, we've had food on demand, and so the moment we get hungry, we think we need to eat. But prior to the farming revolution, when food wasn't so prevalent, people would be hunter-gatherers, and so they would hunt, kill, eat something. Of course, they wouldn't have fridges to store their food, and so it would maybe be 1 to 3 to 5 days before hunter-gatherers collected the next meal. And so that's why fasting was naturally built into the
human evolution.
The human evolution.
Part of your biology, and it's roughly the past, if we're going to talk about human evolution over the past, say, million years, how long have we had supermarkets for? Maybe the last 200 years?
Yeah.
So we're designed to go without food. And
I think this is actually a good place to segue into health benefits associated with fasting naturally. So when in the Paleolithic times, when fasting was a natural part of a human's routine, now we sort of have to do it on purpose to get those health benefits. Maybe you can just enlighten them to some of the health benefits associated with fasting.
Right. So a couple of things to bear in mind. First of all, if you're diabetic or high blood pressure, these sort of conditions, people who go on fasts, regular fasts, will see all those markers drop down. Human growth hormone elevates by something like 50 to 100 times, I think. Yes. They say 5,000% actually, so it's 50, about 50 times would be the logical number there. And also, basically you get a refresh of your white blood cells, so your immune system gets a massive boost, which is cool. In my case, actually, a few pointers. I have congenital arthritis that runs in the family, and so my knuckles, also from years of doing martial arts, but my knuckles would be painful when I would squeeze my hand. Since the fasting, all those arthritic symptoms have gone. And what's really cool, I didn't share this with you, again, despite my pretty strict diet, we have congenital high cholesterol. My cholesterol has dropped 30 points.
Serious?
30 points. It's dropped 15 to 20%. Some research suggests that if you do a 1 7-day fast, you decrease your risk of cancer over a lifetime by something ridiculous like 70%.
Right.
Now,
the thing I'm most grateful for after this fast is that I've learned to use the power of fasting to always manage my weight. Do you feel like that is just gold? I almost said a dirty word there because it's so powerful, like fucking golden wisdom, man.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and in my case as well, because all through my sort of, you know, my teens and really sort of halfway through my 20s, I was ripped. I had a six-pack.
You really were.
Yeah, I was very ripped. And of course, I was doing a lot of martial arts and all that sort of thing. And then as you go into your 30s, 40s, and 50s, the weight just starts piling on. Looks aside, the joy of feeling lighter again, like when we go mountain biking or something like that, it just feels like your body feels dynamic. So
but there is this saying called live fast, die young. That comes from a scientific research study that proposed that if your metabolism is fast, you die young. Because if your metabolism is fast, your body is working at a higher thermic rate. And the data showed that you die young. And so the fasting gurus have coined this new term that says live cold, die old.
During the fast, I think you probably noticed as well, we felt you get colder.
Yeah.
And I've noticed it's interesting. I mean, my body is consistently quite cool. It always had. I mean, especially now with COVID, you go and, you know, measure yourself and I'm like 35.2.
You're cool, my friend.
Yeah, that too, but thank you. I'll also say one thing. If you can fast with a friend, because although I've been fasting for a very long time, I've never been able to get past. I've done 10 days on lemon and maple syrup. I've never been able to do just water the way we did. But once you've got somebody to hold you to account, and just a heads up, when you break that fast, go and do your research. Don't pig out.
Yeah.
You definitely want to break it. Something very simple, light vegetables, light vegetable broth. And if you can go into a little bit of ketosis even before the fast begins, the suffering will be less.
That is some wisdom right there. If you can be in ketosis before the fast, you don't have the transitional phase from going from carbs into ketosis.
Correct.
So that's golden.
That would be one other thing. And then bear in mind that it could take longer than you think to feel good. I mean, I'd say by day 7, you unfortunately got a bit of a cold, but by day 7, you could probably start exercising normally and you'd feel just fine, because I felt amazing on day 7. Day 7, day 8, day 9, I felt really, really good. So anyway, that pretty much wraps it up.
Too many more, my man.
For sure.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Lekker. Cheers.